Good morning, everyone. We are Team Zer0 Decay. My name is Aditi. This is Leah, Ian, Apu, and Christine. Our product is EpiShield. EpiShield is an epinephrine autoinjector, which is a life-saving drug device used to treat severe allergic reactions, which affects over 33 million people, only in America. Current injectors disappoint the public.
You might want to click back into the presentation because I think when we get close that other thing. Oh, is that my bad? Sorry. Okay. It should work now.
The short shelf life of 12 months forces households to replace these expensive devices frequently. Consumers can pay hundreds of dollars for replacements, limiting their ability to renew these prescriptions. The short shelf life and high cost make these injectors highly unaffordable in the long term. The American College of Asthma, Allergy, and Immunology says that these factors result in 15 million adults with life-threatening allergies not owning an injector, risking their lives every day. Lastly, the short duration causes most injectors to expire before use, creating over $1 billion worth of waste. This is where EpiShield changes the market. For customers, our product is more affordable, with prices similar to existing brands, but with a shelf life almost quadrupled. Our product is also easier to access and resistant to seasonal spikes because of the longer shelf life. For manufacturers, not only are we reducing the amount of waste they produce, but because of the higher accessibility, we can reach into a large population of the 15 million people who are prescribed injectors but don't own one. I'll hand it over to Leah now.
EpiShield is a market-changing innovation that combines a nanomembrane, stabilized epinephrine solution, and a dual-chamber mechanism to dramatically improve epinephrine storage. The inner core contains epinephrine and HPMCE5, which helps prevent crystallization. Surrounding this core is a nanomembrane made of povidone and cyclodextrin, created through coaxial electrospinning. This resulting porous fiber structure protects against oxidation, light exposure, and moisture, roughly quadrupling shelf life compared to current epinephrine autoinjectors. To enable rapid emergency deployment, our platform integrates a dual-chamber push-to-mix mechanism. One chamber stores saline water, while the second contains the epinephrine solution, along with our povidone nanomembrane and epinephrine fibers. When activated, the saline water dissolves the membrane before injection in under 10 seconds. All components are FDA-approved and safe for injection.
Our product competes against both name brand manufacturers such as EpiPen and authorized generic epinephrine autoinjectors. EpiPen currently sells in 2 packs for an upward cost of $815. Their market relies on a shorter replacement cycle in order to sustain revenue. However, their business model collapses under sudden spikes or shifts in demand, leading to over or underproduction that can increase inventory costs by up to 25% and amplify demand variability up to 40%. Authorized generics, though cheaper than name brands, still run into these same issues as they are often manufactured in the same factory. In contrast, by utilizing EpiShield's 4-year shelf life, both manufacturers and customers can establish deeper reserves, mitigate manufacturing shortages, and minimize storage and manufacturing losses.
Our 10-year roadmap follows rapid market expansion. We begin by prototyping and patenting our nanomembrane and dual-chamber mechanism, and we transition into the FDA and clinical trials. Since we're using pre-approved materials, we will utilize a 505(b)(2) pathway that shrinks the long 10 to year 15 clinical trial cycle into only 3 to 5 years. This allows us to efficiently get through testing and then pitch our startup to large manufacturers like Pfizer. Now, in order to reach our milestones, we ask for a total investment of $20 million, starting with a seed investment of $3 million for prototyping, another $3 million for legal fees, and $6 million to cover the 3 to 5 years of clinical trials. This investment will allow us to scale our manufacturing exponentially, allowing us to manufacture in the order of millions, and also helps us capture around $140 million in net profit by year 10. Our net profit will keep increasing as our manufacturing scales.
So, why should manufacturers and consumers prefer us? The answer is actually quite simple. We lower the total cost of ownership for customers like institutions because they pay the same standard price for each EpiPen, but only once in every 4 years. We also improve the efficiency of manufacturers producing EpiPens, which means that we lower the loss caused by epinephrine autoinjector excess waste. Thus, we profit more because we're expanding the market by millions of customers and also preventing losses from waste.
And the last note we would like to leave you all off with today is please protect your life and keep epinephrine safe with EpiShield. Thank you so much for listening, and we would love to open the floor to any questions you may have. Thank you.
So this looks like a nice product, and the key is your 4-year shelf life. So please explain how you're able to get this shelf life and the current products don't have this.
Yeah, so the reason that EpiPens and other epinephrine autoinjectors expire so quickly is because that they are exposed to environmental factors like oxidation and light and heat exposure, as well as contamination. And oxidation chemically alters the state of the epinephrine, and that is what causes it to be unusable during anaphylaxis. And using our protective barrier made of povidone and cyclodextrins, as well as using HPMCE5 to keep the epinephrine from crystallization, we can prevent oxidation and other environmental factors from affecting the epinephrine for up to 4 years.
So if your shelf life is 4 years, are you going to have to take 4 years to prove to the FDA that your product lasts that long? How will you handle that?
Yeah, so already, sorry, let me just go back to our timeline. We will, actually a great point. We can start our trials in year 1 or 2, and then we can go up to year 3 to 5 and then test if it is still effective at that time.
So have you thought about accelerated aging tests?
Yes, so essentially, we're using kind of like a fast track through bioequivalent studies. A lot of our materials are already FDA approved, so that allows us to, instead of a 10 to year, 15-year long cycle, because we need to go through human testing, toxicology, all of that, we're still going through clinical trials, of course, but it's now 3 to 5 years.
Great, thank you.
Great job. Going towards motivation again, because that's my theme today. I'm just like really into all of you guys. How did you come to this? Does anybody have an EpiPen? And I guess so.
So none of us personally have an allergy, but one of my very, very close family friends recently had an allergic reaction. He didn't know he had an allergy, but he has exercise-induced gluten allergy, and he was hospitalized. And it just came to mind that, oh, now that I actually have a personal connection who requires an epinephrine autoinjector, why don't we make it better and more effective for people to use? So that was kind of our thought process when going into this.
Really great. Who manufactures EpiPen? Was that in one of the slides? Are you competing, or were you going to try and license out to them, or?
Yeah, so
I missed
currently
that.
the name brand EpiPen I think is manufactured by Mylan, but I can hand it over to Christine.
Right, so right now Mylan is under Pfizer, and a lot of manufacturers are manufacturing EpiPens. Like there's Pfizer, I think Tesla is also manufacturing EpiPens. So what we're doing is we hope to get acquired by Pfizer in the near future, where we could be able to produce with them, and then that will significantly decrease like our manufacturing costs and stuff.
Cool. Thank you, guys. I also want to comment and say I like your cute little EpiShield cartoon guy.
That's our mascot.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had a question on, I guess, the economics. And, you guys say you want to create a competitor that's, and compete on a price basis primarily, right? So to convince these schools, institutions to use your product versus, the established ones, right? What kind of ROI calculation would you have to show them to prove your product over the others?
So I could answer that really quick. So we would utilize like B2B subscriptions, or also showing our institutions. Institutions have to deal with seasonal spikes. these like back to school season, and also stocking them. It's really hard for them to control their supply. They can't always predict, and there's also special laws and regulations about the EpiPen stocks. So we could help manage that by helping institutions with this longer shelf life, so it's not like panic-driven demand.
Sorry, quickly adding on to that, our model is similar to AEDs, which like the external defibrillators that we see in all of the buildings. So schools and other institutions similar, they have to keep EpiPens or other injectors on hand for emergency purposes. And instead of having to replace them every 1.5 years, which is quite burdensome, they only have to replace them every 4 years with our products.
In your presentation, you mentioned that there's a mixture that happens within the pen, right? And you say it takes about 10 seconds for that to mix. What happens in 10 seconds when the person's having an allergic reaction? Is that delay too long? Could there be some sort of catastrophic result in those 10 seconds?
Yeah, so for current EpiPens, it takes about like 2 to 10 seconds for the actual mixture to go into the body. And for our product, it's sub 10 seconds, so it can take from anywhere between like 2 to 10 seconds as well.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
We will further explore that number during clinical trials as well.
Ooh, good comeback.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.